So Fiona has been meeting Jimmy Page.
Lucky thing. I wonder if she got a ticket as well, because you know those tickets are like gold dust. You can't get your hands on them.
I bet she's a big Led Zepp fan.
She probably is. Yeah. Exhilarating, exciting dynamite. Jimmy Page's description of playing with Led Zeppelin again. Rehearsals for their one-off gig are taking place despite a break to Jimmy's finger. The injuries forced the band to postpone the concert to December the 10th. But as Fiona Bruce has been finding out in an exclusive interview, the legendary guitarist is itching to get back on stage.
First of all, I have to ask you, how is the finger?
Well,
which one is it?
It's the little finger of the left hand, and I broke it about 2.5 weeks ago.
How did you
so
do
it was
it?
splintered up for 2 weeks, and now, as you can see, it's coming back.
And how did you do it?
Unfortunately, I tripped over something in the dark. Basically, I came down on pavement, and I was holding something, so I had a double impact on it, which was most unfortunate. You know, it really interrupted. We had such a wonderful momentum going with the rehearsals with the band, and of course it's the unthinkable to happen to anyone, but you know, it was at the point where I thought, oh no, of all things to happen, it could have been just about anything else. And of course it's not like getting over if you have a cold, you can get over a cold and you know how long you've got. With this, there's quite a lot of work to be done with it, you know, physio. But as you can see, it's coming on well.
So are you playing at all at the moment, or you're just working?
Yes, I am, you know, in a sort of physiotherapy sort of way.
I can't imagine what that sounds like.
Well, you know, I'm working out on the guitar. Yeah.
So you excited about the concert?
Oh, you bet. Yeah. Yes, we've had some initial rehearsals with the musicians in the band, and boy oh boy, it was just it was so exhilarating to play together. We'd actually got together in a clandestine rehearsal situation with Robert and Jason Bonham, John Paul Jones and myself, and the hardest thing really of having anything to do with Led Zeppelin was actually getting together and rehearsing without anybody finding out about it, you know. And I think we went in there with such a will that everyone wanted it to succeed on the playing level, you know, and it did. It was absolutely, it was dynamite.
And for you to get back together, you know, you've been playing other music, obviously all of you have been doing your own things over the years. I mean, I just wondered, you know, did you have to adjust the way you played them, how Robert sings them, that kind of thing?
As far as the musical content, there is definitely an urgency and a passion to them, and an intensity which really, if you're going to come together to play them, you really need to have that. You really need to know that is taking you over, if you like, when you're playing it. I know that each one of us has played Led Zeppelin songs with other musicians, but actually have the musicians together that know why it works and why it ticks is an all-important factor.
Through the last few years and the different things that you've all been doing, and occasionally Led Zeppelin or you and Robert Plant have come together, come together for particular concerts. Robert Plant appears to be the more reluctant one of the band to come together for concerts, for reunions, whenever you've been playing together. What is that about?
Well, I would say that on the previous couple of occasions that we got together, for example, Live Aid, that was pretty shambolic.
You were unhappy with the performance?
It was unfortunate. I mean, John Paul Jones, I think, had been doing solo well. I was in a band called The Firm with Paul Rodgers. Robert was out in one of his, you know, solo aspects, and we came together, rehearsed with a drummer that we'd never met before, and then we were joined by Phil Collins, who we'd never played with before, and we'd also done a concert. We'd come together before for Atlantic Records to celebrate their 40th anniversary. And that overran by 6 hours before we went on. So, of course, we were a bit exhausted on that. And I think that everyone had a certain reluctance, or reticence, if you like, to the fact that if we were going to come together to play again, we really had to put everything into it, by that I mean time and commitment to it.
Looking back on the years of Led Zeppelin at its height, how would you sum up those years, the feeling, the kind of frenzy that there was around you?
To be in a band where every musician are basically equals, you know, and Robert as a vocalist, I'm counting that as a musician, you know, where you've got 4 members who play together that actually take on a 5th element when they're playing, and in a live capacity, we're firing off of improvisation. Most of the set had areas of improvisation. So when you go on stage, you wouldn't actually know what was going to be happening by, you know, through the set, because it was just coming, being, if you like, it was almost being channeled, you know. So the audiences were coming in droves to see us, and as far as the supply and demand went, there was always we could never supply the demand, almost like now. But
that's right, because the concert
but it was
is
wonderful to be in a band that was constantly in the state of change and making albums that summed up where we were at that point of time musically. It was always changing and developing and maturing, and that we had an audience, a core heart audience that followed us, understood what we were doing, and were really really into us and faithful to us.
Some of the madness that was around you as a band, you know, the thousands of fans that would mob you wherever you went, the groupies, the hotels, the whole kind of lifestyle, the drugs, all that. What was it like being in the heart of that?
Well, it's quite an experience, you know, and I'm still here to tell the tale. It was a wonderful experience, all of the whole journey, and it's still continuing.
Did you ever think, stop, I need to get off?
No, I must say that the pace of the tours was pretty frenetic, if you like. At the end of those tours, I took time out, if you like, you know, so there was quite a balance, there's quite a yin-yang to it, because I couldn't really live at that pace, you know, throughout a whole year, for example. So it was, you know, there was pacing towards the tours, and then time to sort of reflect, if you like, off the road.
Did you ever think, when you decided to put this concert on at the O2 Centre, that the demand would be as great as it is?
Well, I think we were pretty confident that it would probably sell out on the first day, but the demand that you're referring to was totally overwhelming, yeah. I don't think anybody expected that demand even in their wildest dreams, you know.
And what's going to be going through your mind when you step out on that stage?
I hope my mind will be totally blank and I'll be on automatic pilot, and then the best of my performance will come out, do you know what I mean? Really.
And you'll hope the finger holds up.
I'm going out there to do a wonderful Led Zeppelin concert. I know, you know, my fellow group members and friends are doing exactly the same thing. So we'll have a really good night. And
have there been tensions in terms of? I mean, I was speaking to Robert Plant a few days ago. He seems very much, he's been the one that wanted to plough his own furrow post-Led Zeppelin, whereas the rest of you, John Paul Jones, yourself, have been happier to get together. Is that true,
well,
and why do you think that's true?
We've all had our solo careers,
of course you
and
have,
our solo entities, but look, here's the equation. If I was to go out in a solo capacity, I'd certainly play Led Zeppelin music because I love Led Zeppelin music and I really enjoy playing it. If John Paul Jones goes out in a solo capacity, I know he plays Led Zeppelin music within his set, and if Robert Plant does, he does too, if he's touring. So, and I know that even Jason Bonham, with the bands that he plays with, he's playing Led Zeppelin stuff. So there's something wrong with the picture if all of those 4 members can't, you know, aren't playing together. So here's the opportunity to do it.